I think what has surprised me the most is when I did the character journals and some of the responses that the ki- that the kids did when I read them. I was like, wow, I was expecting a little less. And I have high standards, but I'm like, oh, this might be a little difficult. Let me just see what they,
And specifically that they were able to see the other point of view.
yes, that they they really, really got it. And it was so nice to see because I thought I was going to have to do a little more talking, a little more discussion. I thought there was going to need to be more given to them. But I said, let's just see what they get. I think the level of interest surprised me. I didn't, just even introducing it to them before I had shown anything, just as I'm just telling them what we're going to be doing, telling them a little bit about the play, a little bit about you and Annabelle. They were just like, well, can we perform it? When are we getting the books? When are we, they were really.
Yeah, and I did miss this. Just tell the story about how there's not been a single lost book, and that they're taking, how you were torn about.
The kids would ask if they could take their books home. And I was like, I really don't want you to take them home because I don't want them to get lost. We're going to be working on these, during the day. And then I said, they want to take their books home and read. And many of them are reading with their families. The parents are coming in for conference telling me about, oh yes, Nathan brought his book home. I was this person. They really take care of those books. When we go into the restrooms, they have to either practice their math facts, doing their count bys, or bring a book. They're grabbing that Life is a Dream out of their book nook, and they're in the hallway, you see them. And then they're gathering around with each other to practice. I was like, it's quiet in the hallway. You're reading silently. So I have to stop them from trying to perform the play in the hallway. They're taking them down to lunch. I'm like, please just don't get food on the books. But they're doing a wonderful job. I have not had one lost book. When it's time to do Life is a Dream, they know exactly where to go to get it, and it's there, which I can't say for everything else in the classroom, but they are doing a wonderful job with participating, doing what they're supposed to be doing, and keeping track of their materials.
That's cool. Had you talk a little bit about how this works? I don't know if you had any drama experience or have worked with plays before, but it'd be interesting because I think a lot of people who might say, oh yeah, be interested in this, but say, I don't know how to do that. What would you say to the teacher who was not the drama teacher?
Yeah. And I am certainly not a drama teacher. I have a lot of drama, but I was a little hesitant, but it's been a good experience for me. And even there are parts in the quizzes where they ask not just about the play, but about the setting and about a play, which is informative to me and is giving the kids information. I do readers theater, but I do it more for the kids who need to work on their fluency, but never as, I'm not the teacher that's gonna, okay, we're gonna do a play at the end of the year, you all gonna get up on stage. I'm not that, I don't feel like I'm that creative and dramatic. But this has been a good experience. Because the kids, when they've read their scenes, they're picking out who they want to be as a character. And they can tell you why. They want Basil. I have a kid named Basil. He wants to be Basilio. And I'm like, I wonder why Basilio. And as soon as I said King Basilio, everyone in the class looked at Basil, and he just had the biggest grin on his face. And I'm like, wow, okay. And when I gave the kids their act and their scene to practice so that they can perform for everyone, I had to make sure that King Basilio had a lot of lines so that he would be able to shine. And he's a quiet kid, but when it was his turn to perform, I was like, hey, he did a really nice job.
What about talk a little bit about because I do think I missed it, the activity you're interested in is the visual one, and talk about that.
The video radio imaging that you guys presented had the little clip arts, and there was an activity where the kids can put their own imaging to the acts and the scenes, and I thought that that would be a great way to let me know what the kids are thinking as they're reading those scenes, to put their own images, and it's going to be interesting to find what they think should go and where it should go. I'm a little concerned just with the Google, like for them to Google images. But I mean, I have some great artists in my class that could just go ahead and draw the images that they think go with the actual acts and the scenes.
It's a good note. I'll see if Annabelle can find like a safe image search. That somebody must have done something for schools where, there's like a more safe image search.
They try, but I find with my class, they're very tech savvy.
Yeah,
and they can get around
different
things.
So what about the vocabulary stuff? That's the last question. What about vocabulary, the hypergloss? How have you used it yet? How have you used it?
We have used the hypergloss. When we started, I assigned each group of kids an act and a scene that they would perform, and I asked each child to pick out a vocabulary word that they didn't know before they read the scene. And then I did an activity where we created our own hypergloss, where they had to think about, well, once I read the word, what did I think the word meant? So they had to write their predicted definition, and they had to try to use it in a sentence with their predicted definition. And then they had to go to the hypergloss and actually write down the verified definition, and then use it in the sentence. And then they were able to illustrate, write a sentence, write the meaning, and write their word.
That's good. That's kind of like predicting, you get invested in. Okay, that's good. I'm just going to ask like 3 or 4 questions. One of them would be,